Darren Van Horn has got one speed. That's forward, and boy, he is energetic. Got the energy of a 19-year-old.
And looking much better than he did in that last fight against John Summers back in December. And Horn's last fight on the undercard of Dwight Cowie and Evander Holyfield. And Monduga able to land with the combination.
That's a good thing. Monduga is not a big one-punch power puncher. Because this Darren Van Horn is open. They still have not taught him to move his head. They still have not taught him defense. That takes time, and it may never come.
Yes, he is still a catcher, as you mentioned earlier. He just right.
And he certainly does. I think he's accurate in that appraisal. I'd like to know what's going on in the other corner, because that's where the problem's at. Monduga's getting punched silly, and you have to sort of begin to question Van Horn's punching power. Boy, he has landed some solid shots. Those combinations are around about 3 or 4 solid 1-2 combinations that should around. Oh, what a right hand by Monduga. You can't suspect Van Horn's chin. Boy, he gets hit by everything, and he keeps right on fighting.
You hit him a couple of times in the pre-fight interview.
I did. He didn't even budge.
Van Horn putting some pressure on again. And Monduga getting right hand crazy and is able to graze Van Horn a couple of times.
For a good reason. He's got a stationary target. He's looking at a melon right there. All he's got to do is punch it. He doesn't move his head. He doesn't bounce. He doesn't weave. He's just there. Now, the curious thing is his father wants to fight punchers after this. He wants to fight John the Beast Mugabe. He wants to fight Hilton. I mean, you know, it's almost right to intensive psychotherapy after those kind of things.
Yes, he did say he'd be interested in the likes of Matthew Hilton, John Mugabe.
Now, Mickey Duff did say that after round 5, Mugabe opens up. I mean, Monduga opens up, and he's sure opening up this round.
And that right hand looking dangerous in the 6th round.
So far, he's fighting right on schedule, just exactly as Mickey Duff said he would fight. Let the kid punch himself out in the first 5 rounds and start up in round 6.
Mickey Duff also pointed out that he is not in the business of supplying opponents.
Mickey's had a long and distinguished career, and that's one thing you can't say about him. He's always in championship contention.
Coming up on 15 seconds remaining. In the 6th round, it is scheduled for 10. No knockdowns to this point.
Stay alert. Stay alert. When you get ready to rest, you move way out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Seconds out. Could be
All of those right hands that Monduga threw were by design and plan. He's been waiting for the kid to just stand there as we begin round 7, and he has been instructed again by Mickey Duff. Keep that right hand going. This kid's not moving.
And now we get into the area where you have to wonder about ring rust, and that Monduga fought only once since he was stopped by Mark Breland back in '86. Did not fight at all throughout '87.
And another factor, which we have been kind in not mentioning, he's a welterweight who has come up in weight to fight junior middleweight, and he's fighting a kid that's supposed to be bigger than he is. Now, he's very tall and skinny, as you can see. But Darren Van Horn is thicker. He's more of a natural junior middleweight.
Monduga listed at 6 foot, weighed in 155 3/4. Van Horn at 5'11", 144 3/4. And Van Horn has the slight edge in reach.
Van Horn's changing up right now, waiting for Monduga to do the leading and trying to outspeed he's standing still in front of him, just waiting to outpunch him, rather than coming in, jabbing and punching, as he did through rounds 2 and 5, where he won every round. Monduga looking for that right hand that won him the round. Right now, I have the fight 58 to 56, quite unofficially, 4 rounds to 2.
Combination by Van Horn, and that stunned Monduga. Lost his footing for an instant. Van Horn cornering Monduga. And now succeeding with uppercuts.
There went the mouthpiece of Monduga.
Van Horn looking to put Monduga down. Just over a minute to go. 7th round. Monduga may be finished.
McCallum Bay was twitchy, and McCallum looked very placid, very, very relaxed.
Well, I think he realized he's fighting a real-class champion in McCallum. After all, he's the best fighter he's ever fought, to my opinion. So he knows what he's got to do. He's doing it before his home folks.
McCallum Bay doing what he did against Barkley so effectively, and that is just move constantly to his left around this ring, jabbing as he goes. That's his style. Maybe McCallum a little more tentative, although he is a slow starter in this first round. Tentative and going to the body, which he does so well.
Style-wise, I'm catching on to Bay. He's got a little bit of an awkward way about himself, twitching his shoulder, moving one way, going the other way. He's got his own little style, and I think McCallum's going to have to try to phantom it, because it's not the usual type of style McCallum has fought.
McCallum picking many of those jabs off with his gloves, but coming up short with the jab of his own time and time again. He does have a slight reach advantage, Mike McCallum, the taller of the two by 1.5 inches. Now, in contrast to the last bout we worked, Angelo, in Atlantic City about a month ago, the hostility between Vinny Pazzi. McCallum Bay was twitchy, and McCallum looked very placid, very, very relaxed.
Well, I think he realized he's fighting a real-class champion in McCallum. After all, he's the best fighter he's ever fought, to my opinion. So he knows what he's got to do. He's doing it before his home folks.
McCallum Bay doing what he did against Barkley so effectively, and that is just move constantly to his left around this ring, jabbing as he goes. That's his style. Maybe McCallum a little more tentative, although he is a slow starter in this first round. Tentative and going to the body, which he does so well.
Style-wise, I'm catching on to Bay. He's got a little bit of an awkward way about himself, twitching his shoulder, moving one way, going the other way. He's got his own little style, and I think McCallum's going to have to try to